It's going to be a really important match here. Again, the winners move on to Sunday's finals.
Right.
You win the finals on Sunday. You get a spot in the spring promotion tournament for Season 4. And we've seen some teams come from the promotion tournaments to being the best teams in the LCS.
So, right off the bat, we're going to ban out Lulu. That is not a support ban, by the way. The mid laner for Cognitive Gaming, Zamfira, is a Lulu main, actually. It's his most played champion, and he often gets bans for that Lulu. And he will also get bans for Malzahar sometimes. So he's a very interesting mid laner. Uses some more champions off the beaten path.
Yeah, well, you can see the bans have come through right here. Lulu, Elise, and Kale all dropped away. We talked about the Aatrox from Quaz getting rid of some of his big bruiser top laners, but you still got guys like Renekton out there that both these top laners can play and do really well on.
All right, so we won't be seeing some more Aatrox like we did at Gamescom, but you're right. Renekton up, Tryndamere up. He likes those melee brawlers for the top lane, so he's still got plenty to choose from here. It'll be interesting to see what the junglers do go with. Because both of these guys are early game junglers that like to get their lane snowballing. So Elise, Jarvan, and Lee Sin is the other one that's left up now. Probably be going in that direction.
Yeah, and interestingly enough as well, Zac, I was going to say, Zac is still available right now. We've seen him be immensely popular. Pretty much all the LCS teams have picked him up, both in North America and Europe. The Korean team's playing him as well. That's I'm actually surprised to almost see it like not first picked because of how popular he's been, but yeah,
I like over in Europe, Alex had some analysis of the games, and he was like, oh, well, first game they had Zac, so they won. Second game we had Zac, so that's the story there. Now we're going full green.
I like it. I like the color matching teams. I think it's a really good idea. I think it's better if it matches their logo, though, right? And that Cog's, you know, red and white, I feel like you can make that work. I mean, Aatrox kind of works there. But the Zac locked in. Going to consider the rest of their picks. And, of course, Zac, I like as an ambiguous pick, mid or top or jungle. Karthus can as well.
Karthus, a very solid mid laner. You don't have to make a lot happen early. It's just always nice to have extra damage that can come in on those side lanes. And Zac being your top laner or your jungler really just automatically opens your team up to the option of tower diving.
Yeah.
He's a great point man for going for any sort of tower deep missions.
And we've seen that. We've seen some of the most successful teams, such as Cloud9, run the heavy tanky, hardcore initiation junglers. Meteos actually is like top 5 skill participation in the LCS. Yeah. He just jumps in, starts everything off, and does really well for himself. Of course, NWE's turn to make their choices. Now, they actually knew their bands coming in. I actually asked Miro what his bands were going to be. He already knew them. And so I figured they've got to know their champ select coming through as well pretty securely.
I would be interested to see when we start going for the AD carries, because speaking of, highly contested champions, Twitch, Vayne, and Caitlyn are all very high up right now. Since Caitlyn's off the field already, I would put my money on something like Twitch.
Twitch, it's certainly a very, very powerful champion. And strong in lane, strong late game as well. When you got a Karthus in there, you got to say. The thing is, I know
you like the look of that.
Yeah,
it's probably just a shout out to his fans like me who enjoy.
Right, I had to ignore it because Karthus got locked. And if it weren't for the Karthus, you'd be like, he might go Malzahar here.
Jungle Malzahar, that's like Jungle Cast, Jungle Mal.
I got to actually cast Jungle Malzahar. Snoopy played that in the spring split like twice, and I was like, all right, I know about this one. The Karthus, though, makes me not think it's going to happen.
No, this one looks more like a lock-in, though, because I said Lee Sin, Xin Zhao does a lot of the similar things. He's even more of a beast if you meet him 1 versus 1 in the jungle.
Oh, yeah.
Him in a heads-up battle 1 versus 1 in the jungle early levels is so hard to beat you. There's almost nothing you can do. You have to outplay him very hard.
He doesn't even have skill shots.
No, you don't.
He doesn't click on you. If he misclicks, you might be all right, but otherwise you're in for a bit of pain. Of course, the Twitch, as you called it, coming in there as well. Right. So a lot of late-game power already here, and a lot of frontline initiation. The Anivia coming out. It's not actually happening, though. Zillion, though. Zillion's definitely a legit pick. That's totally happening. I'm staking I'll bet you negative money that Zillion's getting locked in.
So you'd bet me a debt?
Yes.
I don't think I'll take that bet.
All right, well, we'll see. Of course, they got a couple seconds more to pick their champions. Looks like they left the mid and top laners open. So, I mean, to be fair, one of those could actually be played.
Xiao is very versatile. He could go with an assassin here. He plays more Kassadin than he does Ahri, though. So that's why they banned out the Kassadin. They could go with another assassin, though.
Yeah, I mean, right there, looking at it, the double ninjas coming through. It looks like they're going to let those tick away. The Zed coming back, the Kennen as well. And now it's time for Cog's last pick.
Okay, so over on the other team, Cognitive Gaming, iDream is really known for his top lane Zed. So if Quas is actually going to be the one taking that Zed, then he'll be going against someone that really knows the matchup. But if he takes the Kennen instead, I think he'll actually have a better chance. Because when you 100% burst Zach with Zed,
you can shadow slash
it rains down bloblets, but it buys a lot of time for jungle support or somebody to show up.
And well, just the support coming through at this point. We'll see what the grab ends up being. Looking at Blitz would be an interesting matchup. I suppose that would work, actually. You get poked a lot by Kate Sona, but you land a grab, and that person's going to die. So Valkyrie going for the lock-in here, and it's going to be a Twitch Blitzcrank lane.
Sounds like a deadly 2-versus-1 lane. Because Kate Sona, very strong at pushing and poking. The only thing that would turn that around is some jungle pressure if it was a 2-versus-2 and a Blitzcrank grab. You have to land the hook. If you miss your hook against a Caitlyn Sona, then you have nothing to defend yourself. You're going to miss minions until that hook is back up because there's no threat. They will just bully you after that hook has been thrown. Yeah,
so that'll be Valkyrin. Let's see if you got the skill shots up to snuff because that's going to matter a lot of 2v2 these guys. So the team comp's coming through. This is the first game in the best of 3. Actually, the first game at PAX right here for today. And said you win this best of 3, you go into the finals on Sunday. You win the finals on Sunday. You're in the LCS promotion qualifier for the Season 4 Spring Split. A big freaking deal. Season come down to this. It's a really important game for these guys. What can I say?
Yeah, it is. That's how the story's supposed to go. Yeah. You win, then you go into the finals.
You know, it doesn't matter who wins. They're not.
Then you're in the North American LCS.
It's not a big deal. I think it's just, just another day in the park for these guys.
All right. So we do have some decent early game pressure here from Cog because they did go with that Xin Sao, and because Xin Sao will gank a Blitzcrank lane no matter what. I mean, that's a very good lane for him to gank, because even if you do miss your hook, it sort of baits the other your opponents into going aggressive. So they'll be far up, and even if you miss your hook, he can get in there.
And you got to think it's got to be easier to land a hook as well when Xin Zhao gets the knock-up, actually charges in, lands the 3 Talon Strike. So there's good setup on both sides, I suppose. We'll see what ends up happening. Guys, you can tell the crowd is here. They are happy to be here at PAX. We are as well. And up on your screen, the red team, Cognitive Gaming, the blue team, New World Eclipse. And these are some very good players, by the way. NWE, 3 of their 5 members are challengers solo queue.
Oh, yeah.
These are some real good players.
So, Quas here, the story behind him, why everyone thinks he's so good, he's kind of like that kid that didn't have to study before a test at all, and he would just come in and ace the test anyway. He didn't play much ranked at all, and just decided that he would like to be challenger. You know, that'd be kind of cool. He got it in a little over 4 weeks.
You went from like Gold 1 to Challenger in like a month.
That's very, very fast. He's definitely that guy.
So,
and he's going to be the one who has Zed here. So they didn't actually pull that switch.
Yeah, interesting. So Doran's Shield actually for both the top laners. Maybe they're actually thinking that 1v2s might happen. I feel like, I guess for Zach it would make sense either way. But Cog, they're going in for the early invader here. They're all stacking up on the blue buff. And what I like is the ward they put down on the other side of the wall. That ward will help them spot where the duo lane of NWE goes, or where the lane assignments go at all. That tells me Cog's looking for a lane match. Whether they're looking for the 2v2, although you said without hooks it's unlikely, or looking for the 2v1, they'll have better information for this one.
Neither team has actually seen the other, though, and it's all just guesswork right now. There were 2 pings that went out from NWE in the 2 possible locations that Cog were, and because Cog recalled, they don't have any confirmation of that. So they're all operating on guesses. And when you're guessing against Blitzcrank, it's very dangerous. So it's a good thing they got this ward in here very early.
Yeah, Cog being very safe. You can see the lay waste, checking the brush there from Zamfira. Says, I'm going to be safe. Let's just start our jungle.
Yeah, they aborted their plan of going over to steal that blue. They were thinking about it before, but as soon as they showed up, 4 members of Cog and a Blitzcrank, they're going to cancel that mission.
Yeah, so there's the pings coming off. Actually, so pings went down on the ward, actually. So NWE, they're aware of a lot of these lane movements now.
And we have a role swap here for NWE. It's not a very big role swap because they're just the 2 solo laners changing which lanes they're in. But Quas is actually going to be in that mid lane, the shorter lane, so that he can go up against this Karthus and use his combo to actually get the kill instead of just popping bloblets.
Let's see what they can do with this guy right here. Quas going to have to sit in this matchup. And of course, you got to figure Zed probably has more room to be aggressive here, as long as he can dodge a couple of lay waste right here. Captain Ziploc going to get through the rest of his jungle. As you said, some early game junglers were... Wait. Okay. Oh, and that hook just dropped room down to half HP right there. We saw Jarvan kind of not go for his camp. He put a ward down, it looks like, to help make sure he doesn't get invaded here. And now he's going to go back for his own camp.
He's being very, very cautious here because of the fact that they didn't see Cog in the early game. And he's just assuming that there's a ward here, as he should, because there is a ward here.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to use his smite, combo it with the abilities. You always want to get as much burst damage at the same time as possible here.
Well, Captain Ziploc, though, he's snuck into this top side. Now, he should have the timing here, but no ward saw him go into this brush. This could be dangerous for Xiao.
He's getting fairly far up here, and they also saw Jarvan because of that blue ward, so they know there won't be a counter gank potential right here in the top lane. The only thing is Kennen already level 3. He's got his Lightning Rush. He's got one extra escape.
He's happy, but the gank comes into the top lane. Actually, Sigil going to jump forward. Can he land the rest of the knockup? No, he won't. He lands it slow, but that won't be enough here. Ziploc getting stunned up, forced to run backwards, so good escape by Xiao.
So basically, that exchange was the junglers trading a gank, which got him a little bit of harass onto Xiao, for one extra camp here for End Promissory. He is now a little bit ahead of this Xin Sao as far as experience and gold are concerned.
We'll see if that matters a whole bunch here. Jarvan going to be gaining some levels pretty soon, most of the way to level 4. We'll see what happens. We look back to the duo lane, though, and it's going to be, as we said, just that standard 2v2 right here. We had the early hook landed onto Miroim, but he's healed back up. He's actually doing pretty well. Actually, nothing here. Was forced to recall back. Was dropped pretty low on health. And so you saw the harass finally come through. Oh, it's going to be dangerous. More damage onto that Caitlyn, actually. Done a half HP onto the turret. But put some harass back there. And Valkyrie realizing, 2v1ing, not the best for me.
So that's what happens when you land a hook and your AD carry's not there.
Yeah.
You don't always want the high percentage hooks to land. He did get a tower shot onto Caitlyn, but took more damage in the exchange.
Oh, this could be rough then. And Promissory, look at that. A vision ward already down on the brush as well, so he's snuck in without getting spotted. But there's a counter gank getting ready here for Captain Ziploc.
And we're already seeing the effects of those different choices in the early game. One level up here for Jarvan means if they had a 3 versus 3.
What a good hook, though. Miro forces flash away, but there comes a knockup, the double knockup from Jarvan. Ziploc down to half HP, 300 health left on him. There's going to be a disengage on both sides.
Looks like he has a very good hook here. The skill shots for Valkyrin landed pretty well. But like I said, the Jarvan was actually a level up here, and he was in place for the counter initiate.
All right, well, nice job right there. Both teams reading it pretty well. Still got to applaud Valkyrin for landing at least the 3 that I've seen so far. And we just look back to the top lane, though. Standard harass game right here. Looks like these guys are going to be in pretty good shape either way, 34-30. I feel like they're just going to be fine up here just doing their farming thing.
And because iDream really wants to build a Spirit Visage, it's actually going Negatron Cloak very early here. That with Doran Shield means he has a lot of very early mitigation. And it's going to be very hard for Xiao to actually harass him down.
You're going to see that right there. Xiao bring him down to half HP. iDream is saying, well, I'm just going to take some Bloodlets up, push the wave, and I'll heal the next time around. Actually recalls back a little bit early. Only has 300 gold, though. Nothing much he's going to buy there. So puts the ward down. He's going to keep laning. But let's take a look actually at this mid lane, though, because it's actually very, very different. Quas, 46 minion kills. Zamfira only 27. So actually a really big lead being built in the mid lane matchup.
Now, they wanted that switch for 2 reasons here. One is because of the abilities that we talked about. Quas, he's just a natural sort of at this game. He has very good mechanics. But they also want the kill potential on Karthus. So he's doing a very good job, you can see, using his shadow to make Zamfira back off from the creep waves. And even though Karthus is one of the best mages at CSing from afar because of lay waste, still having a tough time.
And speaking of having a tough time, look at just the gold lead. No kills, no turrets, no dragons. 600 gold in the lead for New World Eclipse just from laning mechanics, just from outlast hitting their opponents here. I gotta say, that's really important for these guys.
Because Quas is the one with the lion's share of that gold, he's got the highest CS, it's going to be a split-pushing Zed, a scary split-pushing Zed very early on in this game. So we already have to start thinking about what Cog can do to go answer that split push. Will they send a single person, or will they look for a tower dive with that Zac that we talked about, which is very important if you want to run with that strategy?
That'll be an interesting set of options here. You're right, because they can't really start fights, or they can try to just do the try to fight him with a Zac or something. I mean, iDream's having an okay game. 51 compared to Quas' 62 is not that far apart, so I feel like he can keep scaling up. Zac is 6. He's still I mean, we watch them fighting Shao, but I feel like these guys are going to keep their sustain going, and I don't think we'll see these guys get any dual kills.
Especially with no jungle action up here. It's not, unless they get bored, like we've seen several times before.
Just go for it.
It's just time to use the ultimate and pop that one off because they get a little anxious.
I mean,
or if you're Wild
mana.
Turtle, flash into the base by yourself, 1 versus 4.
Yeah,
another hook!
And here we go, the jump in on Miro. No counter kick is here this time. His flash still down. First blood, and the hook on the Miwi. This could be bad. The damage still coming across. 3-talent strike almost back up. He says, you know what, you're right, I'm going down. Captain Ziploc taking the other kill. That's a really good counter engage.
So that Xin Zhao ganking a Blitzcrank lane that I talked about, it's definitely one of the favorite combos right there. And you just saw it's because he can charge in with the slow, and then Valkyrin got the pull to get a double kill here. So 2-0 means they're also going to have control of this dragon area, and even though they don't have a pink ward down, they know there's no way that there can possibly be enough members of NW to stop them.
It's not going to happen at all. So there we go, pulling it back, putting it a little bit away from the side of the wall, and there's the last hit up on the dragon. Smite came a little bit early from Captain Ziploc, but still going over to Cog. Good stuff.
It's one of the bonuses as a jungler for ganking the bottom lane. If you are that successful, then you're rewarded with the very early objective that gets your team off to a huge lead here. This, by the way, we talked about it already. Before any kills, NWE were ahead. So Cog needed to make something happen. That was crucial for them.
And you got to figure with a... Oh, so I have a question for you then on this one, because they have like the Twitch and cards. We talked about them being late game scaling champions, really good in team fights, a lot of damage output, but Quaz was ahead early. This split pushing Zed, who was bigger than anyone else, was going to win any duels. Like, in terms of late game power, is that a really scary thing? Was Cog like running out of time to win the game? Or
well, it's going to be the different playstyles here. NW is probably going to favor that split push with the Zed because their money is focused on one player. So they can take advantage of that by having the rest of the team try and wave clear. They've got Caitlyn, so they should have a decent wave clear with just the 4-man team. Whereas Cog, you're right. The reason Karthus is a good late game champion, he's good at late game team fighting. So they're going to be trying to group up as 5.
We'll see if the NWE group can split up Cog, or if it's all going to work together like a well-oiled machine for these guys.
I love that one.
Thank you.
That was juicy.
Thanks.
But yeah, so the late game for Cog, it is also going to rely upon some skill shots landing. Valkyrin's already been making a great showing with his pulls.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that can come from. But also, landing that long-range elastic slingshot is difficult to do because you have a tell. You have that shadow that will appear as soon as you cast it wherever you're going to land. And if NW are looking for that, they can just dodge out of the way, even if you charge it up from out of vision.
Yeah, it's true. So we'll see what kind of dodging these guys can do. Of course, I kind of want to keep looking at that dual lane because we talked about it a bit early on.
Actually, we got to slow on to Quas, though.
Yeah, it's going to be the real tell right here. Quas taking a bunch of pain. Exhaust comes down as well. The damage coming across. Flash, so it doesn't get over the wall. Puts the damage back on his Zephyr. Will it be enough? That's a bunch of pain. Ignite's going to tick one more time, and that's it. Not picking up the kill. 50 health left on that Karthus.
Oh, we talked about the mechanics there. A little short on the flash.
A little unfortunate there.
Yeah,
no, that's...
You can't say more about that. He can't get over the wall, head plant into it, and he pays for it with his life. Almost turned it around. After he failed, though, he didn't hesitate to turn around and fight. One more attack, and he would have gotten an answer kill.
Very nice try there by Quas, but we're looking at this duo lane, and even though the gank came through and picked up 2 kills, you're still seeing lane dominance here by New World Eclipse. That turret down to about 2/5 health. Valkyrie wanted to go forward. Of course, the Xin Zhao coming around through the jungle. He's going to be spotted by a ward, though.
And we already have Caitlyn and Sona in a decent position. They're not going to be worried about that.
Yeah, they're pretty safe. So I wanted to go and talk about actually the duo lane before that. Unfortunately, Ziploc ganked me. He's pulling a Svenskeren on me. But basically, early Philo Stone from Valkyrin. So he's getting some extra gold. Also has a little bit of sustain. But first, the top lane fight. iDriven and Shao fighting each other. The Requiem coming across. That could be enough. Shouster's gonna go down. Nice kill picked up there. Cog now 4-0 this game.
So there we go. He did get to use the Requiem. Now he's got some extra assist money on top of that. And Karthus, he's all mana right now, but we have another hook bottom.
Miwi down to 300 out. Double crescendo lands to go on to nothing here. Exhaust comes across. Will he die to the dots? Looks like he's not going to actually go down. Beautiful mechanic. Stuns him. Lands the exhaust and gets out. No counter kill from Miro.
A little short on that Peacemaker, and Quas was heading down the river already with some good roaming, but he doesn't make it in time, and now he's the one in a pinch.
And Quas trying to run away again, throws some shuriken and says, I guess I'm okay now. I'll go back to my lane soon.
It would be dangerous for him. You almost saw him come around by the river back to get to his main lane. But yeah, after his shadow's down, very, very dangerous. He also does not have flash. That's a mistake that you don't make. You don't make it this low, yeah. As Dyrus says, there's two ways through the jungle. One is dangerous, we'll say, and one is safer, but takes a little bit longer. You usually want to go that safer route.
Probably makes sense. Dyrus, one of the best in general. He's really good at knowing when things are up. So 4-0 this game. We talked about the landing mechanics being better for New World Eclipse. Cog, though, getting a lot better ganks here. 2-0-1 for Captain Ziploc. He's doing a very good job of locking down NWE.
Yeah, and up top, iDream is doing a really good job with that kill. It gave him the confidence to go for his spell penetration. Boots second here. He hasn't even finished that Spirit Visage.
But there comes a jump in. Zamfir going to take a bit of pain, and there comes a jump on in. Down to half HP. He's going to survive the death mark, and the counter gate comes in. Ziploc jumping in on a Quas. 300, 400 health on him. Push back, and Promsuri. They're going to go in on that one as well. I don't think he has quite the chase, though. No kills picked up. But Miroim, he's not in a good place. 200 HP, tries to get away. One more attack, two more attacks. There it is. Nothing here says you're going to go down. Maybe going to get knocked up as well. They could just one down. Valkyrie's still plenty healthy. Double kill picked up for nothing here, thanks to the deadly venom of Twitch.
This is why I was talking about Twitch being such a high priority pick for 80 carries.
Yeah, knocking people down. Quas down to 400 as well. He's going to survive, though.
Now, the Blitzcrank lane, we said it would be hard if he misses the hook, because then they'll get bullied. He hasn't been missing the hooks there.
Nope.
So if you hit all your hooks as Blitzcrank, then it's a great pick, and it's a very strong lane, though. Meanwhile, I think that Quas is being affected by the offline performance here, the large crowd or something, because he also missed his Razor Shurikens after the death mark up there, and didn't have the extra damage on Zamfira to finish him off.
Oof, that's not a good thing to miss. But the bottom turret going down, and they're hoping to cash in on that double kill with more than a turret, but also the dragon here. You're seeing Zamfira come on down. Quas, no death mark. Well, just going back to his lane, looks like Cog is going to pick up their first turret and double dragons here, and that is all kinds of great for these guys.
Everybody loves double dragons. Quas is definitely going to, NWE are definitely going to have to start controlling that, because they're falling behind very quickly to this AoE endgame team fighting composition that we're facing here.
And unless Quas puts the team on his back and carries him through the split push, we'll see what happens. NWE, though, actually getting a bit of room to push the bottom lane down. They're actually going to equalize turrets down here. And it's funny because we talked about how, yeah, if you land the hooks, you can kill people, right? Falcon's been landing those, getting kills. But even despite that, you see a 37 minion kill lead that Kate Sona are still actually doing a pretty incredible job despite giving up kills.
Right, so Caitlyn will win the PvE game.
Yeah.
She's a PvE character over here. She has not only higher CS, but also taking down that first turret does open up that control around Dragon that they desperately need for the third one.
But the difficult thing, though, is with those turrets down, Twitch has picked up his Blade of the Ruin King. So he's got the dueling potential, he's got the rolling potential. Miroim can't go to this lane alone anymore. She has to have a babysitter if she ever goes and fights Twitch again.
Twitch is definitely going to come out ahead in that 1-versus-1 matchup, but you have to remember he's also got Karthus there, so Requiem can come in. I don't think anyone on Quas right now feels like they've got a good chance in 1-versus-1s. We've already seen Xiao lose the 1-versus-1 up top, and Quas in the mid as well. Every single lane, they're only going to be picking fights if they have the numbers.
We'll see if they can grab this. Of course, the bottom lane did get pushed down, and NWE seem to be biding their time before they make any major moves here. They've been all going back to their lanes over and over again. And it's been a pretty decent laning phase here so far. Better one for Cog, though. They've gotten better ganks.
Ooh, we may see the Zac dives taking effect already. 16:40 into the game, and they're already looking for him to come.
We got 4 members in the mid lane versus 3 of NWE. Caitlyn taking double golems off from the side. There's Kennen, though, rejoining. Shouster's going to join the mid lane. And they realize, you know what, there might be too many people. And Cog's actually going to back out from that dive.
Now, this has isolated the 280 carries down bottom, but there aren't very deep wards for nothing here. He can't have the full confidence to go all in on Caitlyn without worrying about somebody backing him up. As Valkyrie goes to shore up that weakness.
Yeah, nice attempt right there. Nothing here. Went for the stealth, hopefully out of range. I feel like he might have just been a mini range right there. But either way, Miroim said, you know what? There might be a Twitch here. I smell something fishy, and backed out.
Even too much cheese, you can smell that guy a mile away.
Unfortunate right there. So the mid lane, though, we see actually the jungler right here, Captain Ziploc, actually kind of chilling near the mid lane a lot more than before. He was there for the attempted mid lane dive about a minute ago. He's back here already trying to keep the pressure on the turret. Nothing here, just kind of keeping his split push farm. Ironically, by the way, we've actually got a split pusher for Cog.
Oh, another engage.
Yeah, I don't think Sharp's going to like this one very much. Requiem comes across. Zamfira picks up the kill. 7-0. Cog. Everything is going their way right now.
Oh, and they've already got Karthus stacking. His Rod of Ages already has 20, so that's a little bit ways to go. The Tear of the Goddess around halfway, too. This Karthus is going to be a beast late game.
It's looking scary, absolutely. The Twitch as well, 3-0-1, 130 minion kills on him. The Karthus, as you mentioned, scaling up. What's up?
They're looking for something down bottom. I was hoping Valkyrie could land something over the wall, catch Caitlyn, but we do have nothing here. Going in Viz again.
Goes into range, pops the Blade of the Rune King. There's the flash hook, doesn't land from Valkyrie. Miro, this is going to be dangerous. Pops the barrier. Nothing here is going to survive. And of course, Requiem is down now. Captain Ziploc coming to say, hey, don't dive my team. But you can still see Jarvan and Zed might be moving down. Nope, they turn around.
All right. Do we still count him as having a very high hit percentage with his hooks? Because he hit that minion.
And he could have seen the minion. Like, he would know that was there. That was just silly.
Yeah, so he flash grabbed that sucker. Diving minions, by the way, turret diving minions.
I mean, it got him 25 gold. It's better than
there you go,
zero. Worth it.
They do take the top turret, though, as all the confusion that was caused down bottom by that minion dive.
They didn't know what happened.
It was a good distraction.
Yeah. He intimidated the rest of the minions to not fight in the top anymore. Said, Valkyrie's coming for you, and so they hid, and they let iDream push the turret down. So 2-1 on turrets, 2-0 on dragons, 7-0 in kills. Cog, by all those measures, are winning by a heck of a lot, and you can see a 4,500 gold lead for them. But keep in mind, minion farm has still been going pretty well for the other side. Nothing here, actually down 50 minions to mirror him. So that Caitlyn's still scaling up, still ready to be a scare.
They're going to contest this one.
And the jump in, nice smite by Captain Ziploc, picks that one up. They got a blue buff on Karthus, red buff on Ziploc, and they've got control of the jungle a little bit here. They might go for the mid lane afterwards.
Yeah, Captain Ziploc just snatching that one away, and they do have a few seconds here before Quas gets to the mid lane. He's out of position!
Oh, nice try right there by Valkyrie, and that could have been a kill picked up. Instead, the wave clear comes across for New World Eclipse. They're going to be safe right now, but at the same time, every member of COG is here ready to push.
Because COG got such a good early lead, they're forcing NWE to group up here. This is exactly the game COG wants to play. They do have the Zac with Spirit Visage now. He hasn't got quite enough armor at this point to dive. That's why they're hesitating. They need a really good initiate to actually go for it. Maybe a Blitz hook that actually lands.
Yeah.
Or
Valkyrie. Valkyrie.
Or they can just wait for the next dragon to come up, because they've been doing a really good job of controlling the open objectives, and they don't have to do this.
Well, they're trying again right there. The wall comes down for a little bit of CC, but you notice how safe COG are being. Karthus low range, Twitch a little bit low range. Most of them melee. They're not able to push turrets quickly.
I do like this play from COG. They're not getting too antsy here. They're just threatening with both of their skill shots. They have iDream charge up his Elastic Slingshot and hold it the entire time, which forces NWE back off the turret. Just from the threat of coming in with Zac with an Elastic Slingshot gets them a few tower hits. And then as soon as Blitzcrank Hook does not land, they back right off and take the safer objectives.
And here's the attempt. Of course, the rest of NWE are nearby on the map, but whether they don't have the timer or just not the power to fight for, it's going to be another freebie dragon going over to COG. The early game lead, they continue to snowball it, continuing to control neutral objectives. That is their third dragon now. 31.4 thousand gold, just growing that lead ever so slowly.
And immediately, they're going to return back to this mid lane. We've seen Zed down bottom, so they'll try and shove in with this minion wave. No cannon, but it doesn't matter because Caitlyn has to back off here. Valkyrie's been too dangerous with his hooks.
Yeah, so good job here by COG. They've picked up another turret now. All three outer turrets are now down. 21 minutes and 40 seconds in. They've got that outer shell. They can start pushing in, going into kind of the meat of the jungle and controlling more here.
And this is the point in the game where we see the change from the well-planned out early, oh yes, we got all first three dragons, we got all the outer turrets. Now what? This is where a lot of challenger teams will actually start to fumble. They don't plan past 20 minutes. You have to have a good way of executing, finishing off the game. And that involves oracles invading deep into the jungle so you can control more of the resources, the red and blue buffs, as well as timing the dives with a single target that has built up a lot of armor or has a revive passive like Zachary here.
Yeah, we'll see if Zachary can do it. The minions still being flooded through. 207 minions, 209. We're just seeing it count up for Caitlyn. 205 for Quas. Certainly, you still got to say these guys, despite being down a lot, are trying to find something.
He dodged the shuriken.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're still going to back off, though. Shao.
Wasn't quite sure if he was going to go back in or not, but he definitely wanted to finish that one off. Able to just barely dodge death.
Yeah, very well done. And it seems like with the shadows, you can dodge death as well as a bunch of other things. So good job there, Quas. Finally getting the mechanics, dodging that death timer. And here we go. Nothing here. And the rest of the team going to clear out some of the minions, push down some more, maybe get some turrets going.
Yeah, you know, we can shout out the mechanics, but really, that was after iDream had already claimed his first victim. So
his second victim, to be fair.
This Zach is getting quite beastly.
Yes, 2-1-1. Sunfire, Cape Spirit with his Sork Shoes, even going towards Brandu and Zoman at this point. That is a very beastly amorphous blob. See now, Valkyrin still looking for the hook. Has an Oracles, no wards on him, but goes into range of the turret.
Now, Cog don't have iDream with them, but he hasn't shown on the map either. So
yeah.
NWE can't be sure of his position.
Scumbag Valkyrin, by the way, dodged the ace in the hole. I don't know if you saw it. He's like, there's a red line. No, I'm going to let you do that one.
you can take that one.
There we go. The red buff being started. Cog has the timer here. Wards come down for NWE, and there comes the Zac! Smited away by Promissory. They're going to have that one, but the fight might begin. The ult in from Xin Zhao. Miwi up in front. Will he die before the crescendo? He can't get it off. The re-engage on the back line. 1-for-1. 1-for-0 so far. Zamfira's going to go down 1-for-1. The back line still alive for Cog. Ignite Burning is going to kill off Twitch. Very close fight so far. iDream is still in the mix, but has already used his ultimate. Gets stunned up. Has no passive. Kill picked up. NWE making that fight go their way. 3-2.
Huge win for NWE. Exactly what they needed to get back in this. They can now have some free farm here for Caitlyn. Let's take a look at that play one more time. It's a good job of kiting here, and they used the slow from Zed's Shadow to gain some distance. Then they just put damage onto the front line here, and as soon as Quas goes in, he's able to take the main damage source out of the fight here. Twitch does go down, and Captain Ziplock almost went down as well. iDream trying to tank up the whole team at the same time, but he doesn't have his passive from that last kill up top.
Yeah, he tanked him up pretty well, but yeah, as you just saw, like, Quas was able to go in there and remove nothing here. The damage up on the Karthus in the front line, they removed him as well. They got rid of the squishies so fast. Really well played. NWE, despite all those deficits, the turrets going down, the dragons going down, all that crazy gangs and whatnot, still able to win team fights. And this was a 5v5. This was the game plan that Cog wanted.
And this, there's not really much you can do against the Zed combo as Twitch. You have to build your answer. Right now, he doesn't have anything that he can actually do. Yeah, I'll pop my barrier. That's a little bit extra damage absorbed, but you have to build for it. You have to build either a QSS or, you know, a Zanya's if you're AP, something like that.
Yeah, there's certainly just only a couple options, but he's just going offense right now. The jump in, iDream finds and Promissory. A little bit of damage there. Jarvan kind of says, all right, I guess you can hit me a little bit, but here comes the rest of the team. The jump in on a Valkyrie, double crescendo lands as well. There's a lot of pain coming across. Zamfira pops the Seraph's Embrace, gets exhausted. One kill picked up onto, there we go, one traded back though. Zamfira still getting chased down, one kill, and there's the death mark. Nothing here, taking a bunch of pain, but he's not going to go down. The Requiem is going to kill off Xiao. Double kill actually, triple kill overall, and that is an ace, a 5-for-2 in favor of Cog.
And that was Cog catching out and Promissory. Getting so much damage onto the tank early, usually like, oh, they use so much stuff on this tank that they caught, but actually, that's how they want to use it. And the crescendo here coming in onto 2 targets, able to get them back in this one as well. Even though he's able to get out of that Cataclysm, trying to keep Zamfira locked up, not enough here. Quas not able to finish off the Twitch this time, 1 versus 1, and with the Requiem coming in with the extra damage.
Yeah.
Cog finally pulled all their money to the fight, and you just saw how much it hurts.
Yeah, very, very well played by these guys. So good team fight. The actual middle inhibitor going down as well, by the way. So the mid lane is going to be all sorts of difficult now for NWE to deal with. I mean, they've been good at last-hitting minions so far. I'm sure they can continue to do that when the waves just start coming into their face. But as far as the map control goes, as far as gold, I mean, COG have gotten farther and farther and farther ahead. 9,000 gold now. This is a growing lead for these guys.
And they're returning yet again to that dragon. The dragon pot of gold over here.
Another 1,000 gold going to go to the team. Pretty much like half their lead is from dragons. So I got to say it's well played by them to control it, but that's where a lot of this is coming from. There we go. Yeah, last with a Q. Ziploc, by the way, saved his smite, you notice. Had smite up. Said it's not a threat that anyone's going to steal this. I'm going to save it for Baron.
So anytime that you get towards the 30-minute mark, you want to be saving your smite. At this point in the game, there's no other camp really that you need help with taking. So unless you're securing something like a buff, then you want to save that for Baron, just because of the possibility of a sneaky Baron by your opponents and that opening up the option to steal it for you. We've seen so many steals. Over at Gamescom, there were almost more stolen Barons than there were secured Barons.
Well played by these guys. The reflex is all that matters. Keep track of the health bar and then going now. Doing all that fun stuff. So NWE still on the defense. You're seeing the wave get a little bit warmed up. Shao getting a lot of the gold right there. The Kennen does have his Zonias this time around. He's got some pretty good damage yet, but the Haunting guy's there as well. So the team fight starting to push together, pull together a little bit here for NWE. Nothing here, actually getting spotted out. So COG, you look at this, they're kind of sneaking around. And there's the catch. They find Promontory. Wall of Pain goes down. Can they do more damage to him? The Let's Bounce comes across. I don't think Jarvan's going anywhere. That's going to be one kill picked up, but there's a crescendo. And the Slicing Maelstrom, a lot of early damage. Nothing here getting jumped on. Quas can do the damage up, but it's going to be close. Ignite not going to do enough damage, though. Of course, the QSS keeping him alive as well, but the shutdown coming through for Shao. Miriam, though, forced to run away. This is not going to be good. Crescendo, or sorry, Requiem finding another one. Miriam's going to go down as well. Another ace picked up, and only one member of COG fell over.
Now that he's got the QSS, okay, so let's just say he barely survived even with that QSS.
Yeah.
But now that he does have it, there's not a lot more threat here for COG, and they're actually looking to end it now.
30 minutes in, the frontal Nexus turret's going down, actually not even going to die. 30 minutes in, the surrender coming through from New World Eclipse. 1-0 from COG, and they are one game away from the Challenger Finals.
What a start there for COG. The laning, the early laning, though, was definitely heavily in favor of NWE, so I would not count out New World Eclipse right now. They definitely have the very strong laning phase here. We'll have to see if they can actually pull together, though, because that gank bottom into Dragon gave so much global gold and so much of a lead to